Hello, friends, and welcome back to the next episode of the Juicebox Podcast. I'm back again with another Community Spotlight episode. They're short, but very informative, pointing out some people out in the community doing good works. Today, we're going to talk about the Nightscout Foundation and NAMI.org. Nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan. If you or a loved one was just diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and you're looking for some fresh perspective, the Bold Beginnings series from the Juicebox Podcast is a terrific place to start. That series is with myself and Jenny Smith. Jenny is a CDCES, a registered dietitian, and a type 1 for over 35 years. And in the Bold Beginnings series, Jenny and I are going to answer the questions that most people have after a type 1 diabetes diagnosis. The series begins at episode 698 in your podcast player, or you can go to juiceboxpodcast.com and click on Bold Beginnings in the menu. If you're looking for community around type 1 diabetes, check out the Juicebox Podcast private Facebook group, Juicebox Podcast, Type 1 Diabetes. But everybody is welcome. Type 1, Type 2, gestational, loved ones, it doesn't matter to me. In today's Community Spotlight, we'll be looking at the Nightscout Foundation. Everything I'm telling you right now can be found at nightscoutfoundation.org. The Nightscout Foundation was formed in 2014 as a direct and natural offshoot of the CGM and the cloud movement. The Nightscout Foundation exists to encourage and support the creation of open source technology projects that enhance the lives of people with type 1 diabetes and those who love them. This includes fundraising, advocacy, and direct software and hardware development. You've perhaps seen their hashtag #WeAreNotWaiting, and I think that motivation is where all of this started. A bunch of people who just wanted to have better access to their data so they could do things with it, and they didn't want to wait for a company to give it to them. Today, the Nightscout Foundation does volunteering at events so they can help spread the word. They do coding, looking for new solutions for type 1 and the people that care about them. They support people, and they're always looking for people to help and make donations. So go check them out at nightscoutfoundation.org. You've probably heard guests on the podcast who have done coding on things like Trio or IAPS and Loop, and they'll talk about, we got a little bit of money from the Nightscout Foundation to help us get the work done. So think about that. Off in the world somewhere, a bunch of beautiful people who understand coding, they work on these DIY applications, and the Nightscout Foundation helps offset their costs a little bit, keeping qualified, motivated people able to do the work. And then out there in the world, you get Loop or IAPS or Trio, those sorts of things. Current leadership of the foundation consists of Tanya Clark, John Kostick, Gail DeForce, Kate Farnsworth, Weston Nordgren, and James Wedding. These are people who have just put their heart and soul into you being able to have your data available to you. What does that mean? Like, some of you might not know what the Nightscout app is, but I can open my phone right now and open up my Nightscout app, which is pretty awesome. And I can see my daughter's CGM data, right? So it's, describing how it all works is pretty useless because I'm not that technical, but I can see things about my daughter's pumping that I couldn't possibly see anywhere else because of Nightscout. It's a lifesaver. It's awesome. I don't even know another way to say how great it is. Like, there's nothing wrong with the Dexcom app, but Nightscout is next level. This is from the website, nightscoutfoundation.org. The foundation is a nonprofit that encourages the exploration and creation of open source technology projects that enhance the lives of people with type 1 diabetes. It is made up of a collection of people that care about using open source technology to improve the lives of those with type 1. The board of directors have been heavily involved with Nightscout from the beginning as users, developers, and support team members. Current board members, as I listed earlier, have been around for a long time, is what we're trying to say. The foundation is registered as a nonprofit in the state of Texas, in case you're wondering. And they have ongoing discussions with the FDA, right? So you're looking for people who are out there, representing you. The Nightscout Foundation does that with the FDA, JDRF, and other large legitimate diabetes foundations. Nightscoutfoundation.org if you'd like to know more. I'm going to do one more organization today that was sent to me by a listener. This is NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They are the largest grassroots mental health organization. They are dedicated to building better lives for the millions of Americans affected by mental illness. It includes more than 700 NAMI, NAMI, state organizations and affiliates who work in your community to raise awareness and provide support and education to those in need. If you need help or want to chat, you can text Helpline to 62640. You can call them at 800-950-6264. And if you're in crisis, you can call or text 988. Their website, NAMI.org, NAMI.org. Just go right across the top. There's About section that talks about warning signs and symptoms, mental health conditions, that are common with mental illness, different treatments, mental health by the numbers. If you just click on Your Journey, there's a link there for individuals with mental illness, family members and caregivers, kids, teens, and young adults, maternal and new parents, veterans and active duty members, identity and cultural dimensions, frontline professionals. They're involved in support and education around the world. You can get involved with them by making a donation, attending a walk, helping them with fundraising. You can create a memorial fundraiser. You can share your story. There's awareness events. You can partner with them. Yeah, they have an on-campus section if you want to get them over to your college. They do a bunch of advocacy about policy and crisis intervention, public policy reports, everything there that you need to see. So once again, you can call their helpline, 800-950-6264. You can text helpline to 62640 or chat online. And in a crisis, you can call or text 988. NAMI.org. It was sent to me by a number of different listeners of the podcast. It said that they were exceptionally helpful with the struggles that their family was having. So we highlighted two things today. One that is very specifically diabetes, and one that, while not specifically diabetes, I think can be genuinely helpful for a lot of people in need. Are you starting to see patterns, but you can't quite make sense of them? You're like, oh, if I bolus here, this happens, but I don't know what to do. Should I put in a little less, a little more? If you're starting to have those thoughts, if you're starting to think, this isn't going the way the doctor said it would, I think I see something here, but I can't be sure. Once you're having those thoughts, you're ready for the Diabetes Pro Tip series from the Juicebox podcast. It begins at episode 1000. You can also find it at juiceboxpodcast.com up in the menu, and you can find a list in the private Facebook group. Just check right under the featured tab at the top. It'll show you lists of a ton of stuff, including the Pro Tip series, which runs from episode 1000 to 1025. When or if you need something that is represented by one of the sponsors, it would help the podcast immensely if you would use my links to look into it or to make a purchase. Those links are available in the show notes of the podcast or audio player you're listening in right now, and at juiceboxpodcast.com. It's a simple and easy way to support the podcast. I can't thank you enough for listening. Please make sure you're subscribed or following in your audio app. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast.